You can just go.
All right, there, guys. How's it going? So we haven't had, but there is another episode of the Athletic podcast that's come out, and David Ornstein has been talking about Liverpool's transfer market, the situation that happened, the contracts, and also Richard Hughes. He's been bigging him up a little bit. And before I get to that, just a little quick reminder to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Give the video a like if you do enjoy it. I'll give it a dislike if you want, because both things just are interaction on the channel. It does no harm to the channel. And also leave a comment down below, guys. So first and foremost, what I'll say is Ornstein is sat there saying all of this, speaking positively about Richard Hughes while wearing a Boston Red Sox hat. That's right, yeah. Get right around at him. Red Sox hat. He's sat there saying all of this, guys. So what it is here, I've done what I normally do. I've took a few points from it and we'll talk about them, yeah. So talking about Richard Hughes, he said that people in similar roles across the sport are taking their hat off to Richard Hughes about how he's handled this summer and how he's taken on the Liverpool job. The well-documented interest in Xabi Alonso that didn't pay off, but then still the process led them to appointing Arne Slot as the head coach. This then led to scrutiny about whether Slot was the right man coming from the Dutch league. And then obviously we've had a really good start to the season. As we were speaking last night on the stream, which we do every Monday at 7 o'clock, you know, let's wait and see. Let's just hold fire a bit. Like, we've played three games. The team is playing well. I'm really enjoying the style of play. I'm looking towards that week when we're playing Man City and Real Madrid. Are we going to come out with 6 points then? Let's wait and see. But again, it's all positive for me. Like, I'm loving this new style of play. Wanting to sign a 6 in Zubamende, and then when that failed, not having like a knee-jerk reaction to getting an alternative. Maybe he says as well that Zubamende could be one that Liverpool revisit in the future or not, depending on how Gravenberch gets on at Liverpool, of course. He's been excelling so far in this new number 6 role. And yeah, it's just, he's really bigging him up, guys. And you've kind of got to remember that Ornstein is trying to build a relationship with Richard Hughes if he doesn't have one already with him being at Bournemouth. So he's not really going to say anything that's going to rock the boat. However, there is some points here that are kind of interesting to touch on. And then when he was talking about the contract situation, he mentioned how it isn't really a saga, and it's kind of being blown out of proportion a little bit, because for all intents and purposes, Salah couldn't have said anything else. As it stands, this is his last year, so he's not lying by saying that. However, speaking publicly can be seen to, done a spelling mistake there. It can be seen to be putting pressure on the club, just like Virgil van Dijk speaking publicly. It's been seen as if they want to stay. They're applying pressure to the club to get them to come to the table. We had Fabrizio Romano saying that during the summer transfer window, they were focused on just getting players in. And now we've got like the international break now for what, like, is it 10 days or something? They're going to then focus on getting these contracts sorted out. He also mentioned, obviously, we've not heard anything publicly about Trent's contract. And you would think that the club would move heaven and earth to keep a hold of Trent. I personally think Trent will be the first one that signs. I think the fact we've not heard anything publicly from Trent kind of bodes well. And the fact that the fans have got a bit of a bad taste in their mouth after the transfer window, I would not be surprised if we see Trent sign before the international break is over. I could see that one potentially happening. That's it for the little slides I've got for you guys. I didn't want to go in too much depth with it. You can always go listen to the podcast yourselves and pick up a few things. But there was other stuff mentioned, how like James Pearce mentioned, which again, I found this bit interesting, that like James Pearce was on this podcast to start with, but then they brought David Ornstein on to talk about the contracts and everything like that. But James Pearce is the correspondent for the Athletic for Liverpool. Again, I've said it a few times, not a knock on James Pearce, but why are you there if they've got Ornstein? I don't know. Never mind. James Pearce mentioned how, towards the back end of last year, when Salah was struggling with his injury and his form, many people would have thought that giving him a contract was the wrong thing to do. But however, he's had a good break over the summer and he's come back and he's just excelling. I think I mentioned in a stream maybe last week that I won't be surprised if this is Salah's best overall season at Liverpool, stats wise. You know, we went through some of the stats yesterday. He's not far off being in the top 5 for goals and assists in the Premier League, to be fair to him. Just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal player is Mo Salah. But yeah, James Pierce mentioned something along the lines of like, if you'd looked at it last year, you wouldn't have offered him a 3-year contract. But if you were to offer, you would see the reason why they would do it now. There's obviously the Saudi interest there, but they don't think that he's ready to go there yet, which again is something I kind of mentioned last night on the stream. But yeah, they're the key points from this, guys. But again, you're going to see people talking about it, but I just kind of wanted to point out the fact that he was sat there wearing a Boston Red Sox hat while talking about it, which is obviously the baseball team that FSG own. So please take that into account while thinking about all of this. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's the points from the video. Let me know down below what you think. That's the most important thing. And again, if you are new here, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like or a dislike. Doesn't really matter which way you do it. And also, again, leave a comment down below, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.